Jarvis, drop my needle.
Hello, this is the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and if you are interested in listening to idiots, you came to the right place. Have a nice day.
Woo! That's an attention getter.
He's a very strange young man.
He's an idiot.
What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law.
Oh my God, he's an idiot.
You know, of course, that you're out of your jurisdiction.
Personally, I think you're an idiot.
But that's the evidence in the car.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Always like to keep my audience riveted.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, friends and fiends, and welcome to Free Range Idiocy, the podcast about everything, but mostly just the stuff we like. For the first time in what seems like a billion years, we, the movie viewing public, will only get a single, solitary release from Marvel Studios in this, the year of our Lord 2024. Deadpool and Wolverine will not only usher in the Merc with a Mouth into the MCU, he's bringing at least one member of the fabled X-Men with him, and quite possibly shaking up the entirety of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as well. What's going to happen? Who'll show up? Hell if we know, but that isn't going to stop us from wildly speculating and running down all the rumors in this episode 171, Maximum Effort, Deadpool and Wolverine, Real or Jabroni. I am your Uncle Todd, and with me, as always, is the man who, much like Wade Wilson, has an unhealthy obsession with B. Arthur and chimichangas. He has been my partner in Idiocy for over 2 decades and always keeps a bottle of A1 in his holster. I give you the man they call Tim.
Greetings and salutations, my friend. How are you?
I am doing quite well, so I'm actually starting to perspire a little. This is the problem with, like...
You gotta turn your ceiling fan on. That's the problem. You got a ceiling fan up there.
That's right. I completely forgot about that. All right, when you start talking, I'll run over and turn it. I completely forgot that I had a ceiling fan. It's
I was
like right in the shot every single time.
During the pre-production meeting, I'm looking at that thing like, why does he not have his ceiling fan on?
Why didn't you point that out to me? It's like 95 degrees with like 800% humidity here in Maine.
I figured you were comfortable.
Hang on a second.
I thought you were comfortable. But ladies and gentlemen, the man they call Tim, once again. Oh, good Lord. He's blinding me with those lights. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Now he's got some circulation happening. He's proud of himself, folks. He's proud of himself. He has turned on the ceiling fan. There is now circulation. That egg salad burp is now whipping its way around the room, and it's going to slap him right in the face.
We're going to play a helicopter later on. Anyways. Gosh. I love the fact that I always look at that and I kind of use that to try and center myself on the screen. Yep. Never thought about turning it on.
Yeah, well, it's that's
living
why
the gimmick.
I'm paid the big bucks on
living
the show.
The gimmick.
Yes.
How are you doing, sir? How are things going? Have you had a hell of a month this week, or are you this week a little bit lower pressure?
It's been lower pressure. It's been good.
Good.
It's been good.
Excellent.
Actually, a good thing we didn't record last night. I don't know if you had heard in the news. But we had a rather
what else has happened?
intense storm come through the
Chicagoland
area, and there were somewhere in the order of I don't know if it was 20 to 25 tornado sightings during that period.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was crazy. And at one point there was apparently a tornado spotted in the Loop in downtown Chicago. Yes.
It's like a Roland Emmerich movie. What the hell?
There was one that was forming at O'Hare and Midway Airport because apparently I think the weather was looking for a flight out. But
and in the meantime, the man they called Tim is running around like this. Auntie M, Auntie M. It's a twister.
That's right. So yeah, I am. We're good, but it would have made for a very interesting recording session last night because.
Well, luckily you're in your basement, so I mean we could have kept recording as long as the internet held out.
We're in our basement, but in the other room, my wife had the ABC weather tracker on and at maximum volume, might I add. So
yes, of course,
impacted the recording here, but. We needed to hear what was going on and understand if we were in for some wind action or if we were going to skate through as we typically do.
We occasionally get a tornado warning here in Maine.
Mm-hmm.
However, the one that stands out to me is many years ago now. God, it has to be at least 10, 12 years ago. There was one instance where it was like it was like serious tornado warning. Like, okay, this could happen like in the vicinity of where we're at.
Yeah.
And my wife, God love her, the protectress that she is, we were in a split level house, which is like this, you know, your bottom floor is only halfway underground.
Yeah.
So it's like basement light. Half the calories, you know, half the windows. And so the one place that we could go was the laundry room. It was the one room in the house that was somewhat below grade that didn't have a window. Didn't have the heart to tell her. I'm like, I hate to tell you this, dear, but we're still screwed. And so she had everyone in there, and I'm literally in the next room watching the news, and she's like, get in there. I'm like, I'm right here. Like, I'm 5 feet away. But apparently it wasn't good. She had like blankets in there and everything. Like, we were going to spend the night next to the washer and dryer. I'm like, this ain't going to work. This ain't going to work. Me, you, the 2 dogs. I think we still had Bootsy at that point.
Oh boy.
Bootsy, the big black cat. He wasn't nearly as big then. He was very scrawny at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an interesting time. So I'll feel your pain.
Thank you.
But yes, good thing that we're recording here on Tuesday.
It is. Everything is better. The sun is out. Birds are chirping. Humidity is at maximum effort. And
oh my!
Indeed. Yeah.
Would you say it's moist?
It is. I actually, when I left this morning, it was 67 degrees out, and I thought, okay, maybe I will, because I was taking my scooter to work. And I thought maybe I would
hang
just
on,
wear...
time out. Go ahead and brag. What mileage are you at with your scooter?
So it was only a few episodes ago I was talking about how I hit 2 bills on the scooter. I'm now at 230 miles on the scooter that I have traveled total. So I am just racking the miles up, baby, and it is glorious going to work on a scooter. Let me just say.
Well, when you hit 233. Let me know, and that way we can have some sort. We can tie that into Larry Legend.
I'm actually at 233 right now.
You are
kind of rounded down. Yes.
Oh
yes.
Well, in that case, I mean,
Bird stole the ball. Bird stole the money.
Oh, that's a great Johnny Most. I have not heard you do that, sir. Well done.
You know, I'm a man of many talents. None of them are useful or good for making money, but I'm many talents.
I can make people laugh.
Not
Can
for
they
dollars.
Pay me money?
No, you know, that's the funny thing is comedy and music, both like completely necessary to humanity as a whole.
Yeah.
Not a surefire money making scheme.
No,
not even in the least.
No.
But anyways, should we shuffle our way into the Week in Geek, or do you have anything else you'd like to preface with?
We should.
All right.
It's right here, Ray. It's looking at me.
Special guest, Bill Murray.
So funky.
As we do, as always. This Week in Geek, ladies and gentlemen, is brought to you by, well, a little bit of everything.
You got a sponsor?
Yeah, we do. We got wrestling.
You're going to start
some,
sharing some of that Screen Rant affiliate money with us?
I might consider it. We got some wrestling. We got some BSG.
I'm going to get a check for like 13 cents.
You are. You're going to say, my God, what an enterprising young man he is.
It costs more to send this check to me than it did to actually cash it.
He actually paid for a stamp to send it to me.
Because that's how ass backwards we are, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
All right.
We will send each other money at a loss.
It's not just a name, it's a lifestyle.
It really is. Oh, my God. All right. Well, let's kick it off. I mean, really with a very, very last-minute sort of add-on to the top of the bill here.
I insisted on it.
Yes, he did, and rightfully so. There were some entertaining segments last night, but thoughts on last night's WWE RAW on the USA Network? Soon to be the Netflix, by the way.
I know. Can you imagine? So
and they get to swear. Oh,
we've got John Cena coming back for his final year in wrestling, and it is going to be the entire calendar year of 2025. Yes. He is going to be performing that entire year. So his last year on WWE television will begin the Netflix era where all the shackles are off.
Oh yeah.
I can't even imagine. And we know that The Rock is going to come back too.
Oh boy. And the final boss is going to bring his filthy mouth.
Can you imagine? I mean, how can we not have Austin at least make one?
Oh, you got
one appearance to drop an F-bomb.
You gotta.
I mean, if that's all he did was...
Son, how many years have I been doing this and I had to filter myself? I'm going to come out here and lay some F on this, F on that. You know, here we go.
Just 3 hours. 3 hours of that. And you know what?
Steve Austin, by the way.
The entire WWE universe would be satiated. It would be great.
Yes.
But yeah, oh my gosh. Raw last night, I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing. I caught up on YouTube.
Yeah.
But some very interesting segments.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen. We got a couple of matches for, well, I 2 for sure, 3, I mean, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So we had what do you want to start with here, sir?
I mean, so the only 3 that I saw were the Gunther Damian Priest promo.
Yep.
The Drew McIntyre Adam Pearce face off.
Yes.
And lastly, the Rowan video about his backstory, Rowan from the Wyatt Six. And then I saw with audio off because I was in the office, Bo Dallas getting a bow down.
I love you doing podcast work on company time. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I was eating my breakfast. I figured I may as well, listen to a little bit. So why not? Why not?
Was it a breakfast?
I missed the Rhea Ripley stuff you were referencing. So it sounded like it was a good promo. I need to see that. But that's what I saw. So that's what I can speak to if we want to start there. And then if you want to fill in.
Yeah, let's start with McIntyre Priest. What do you think of that?
I thought it was good.
Oh, sorry. It's not McIntyre Priest. Gunther Priest.
Oh, Gunther and Priest. I thought it was good. I mean, I caught the cutoff version of it, so I think there was like a beginning part to it where he kind of lays into Priest for having kind of a lackluster run with the belt sort of thing, and I missed how he kind of worded that, but I picked it up when he started to go to a very odd place, leveraging Priest's past as, being a man of the streets. And
I think Priest actually kind of leaned into that a little bit first.
Oh, did he? Yeah.
But then Gunther really came off the top rope on it. And can I just say, in all honesty here, a little uncomfortable with the dude.
Yeah.
And I know Gunther, is he German or Austrian? I think he's
Austrian. I think he's Austrian. Yeah.
Still a little awkward having someone with a vaguely German-sounding accent talking about people and how much better he is than them, because it's been a while, but not that long. But at the same time, like, they are really trying to lean into it, like, because originally when this lines up, you've got heel versus heel, because just by
and that's partially WWE's fault. Like you and I were talking in the pre-production meeting about Judgment Day has really screwed up how fans can view Damian Priest. He's trying to be a respectable champion. He's trying to get them to not interfere on his behalf, and they still do it. And yet when he's with them, he's like, basically like Chad Gable light in a way, like kind of talking down to the team. And stuff. And so, and doing it in a way that makes you like not want to root for him, because it's like, you're kind of an ass, like you're walking around with the world belt, talking down to these guys and coming off like an arrogant, kind of douche. And so it's made it hard for fans to lock into him. Now, if they had, made him a little more, shined a light on him that was a little more pure in terms of, okay, he's a fighting champion. He wants to earn the respect of, his colleagues and the fans and the way he conducts himself. He's trying to basically walk a path that Gunther's kind of already walked, and so I appreciate it. But unfortunately the message has been muddled. And so I think the reaction to him is somewhat muddled as well.
I think the biggest thing that has messed things up for Priest is honestly Rhea Ripley's injury.
Yeah.
Because honestly, Damian Priest is the leader of the Judgment Day in name only. Mm-hmm. We all know that Mommy runs Judgment Day. And when you have to take Mommy off of TV for a quarter of the year, which I mean, I'm guessing is, I think it was a combination injury plus it was her wedding, and you know what? Good on him for going through with that. If it was like, hey, she had a lingering injury that, she knew she needed surgery for, and hey, I can schedule my wedding for that time too. Give me 3 months off and I'll square it all. Like, good on Triple H for doing that. Because I mean, there's also there's been a couple of stories I've seen where like the WWE schedule over summer has been fairly light for a business, for an organization that business is freaking booming for, and they've kind of rolled back on their live appearances, which to me sounds a lot like the management of someone who has gone through this and who's like, gee, I wish I could have had some summers where I had a few extra days with my family, which good on him. If that's the case, I don't know. I'm just speculating. But having her off, I think, has impeded the breakup of the Judgment Day and or the turn of Priest, because you really can't do anything. Because let's face it, Rhea Ripley is the catalyst for a lot of that. Like, she is the first person to go babyface there. Like, she was already a tweener in a big bad way. Dom is still way into, like, we absolutely hate him. God love him. For being, heel heat incarnate. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that's hurt Priest, is the fact that they haven't been able to really pull the trigger in a serious way of breaking up Judgment Day, because without Ripley, she's really the leader. Even though they're trying to make Priest the leader, it's like, sorry, that's not the way it works. Mommy runs Judgment Day. So yeah, I get it, but I also understand how they're leaning so hard into Gunther trying to go to that, a little bit of a cheap heel. I do like how he did lean into his ring work and the prestige and all that. Like, I thought that was kind of good. Overall, I have a lot of hope for that match at SummerSlam. But yeah, it's good to get that match in there, and I think I'm hoping between now and then they really lean into, like, Priest going to this place. Like, Gunther is pushing him. Yeah. And I hope that really helps to elevate him, because I mean, I think Priest is a really talented dude. I think he just needs something to, like, push him to that place, because he like you had said in the pre-production meeting, he is very vanilla. Very vanilla right now. He needs something to turn him, to give him that extra nudge.
And something I shared with Uncle Todd in the pre-production meeting that I read on CagesideSeats.com, purveyors of all that is holy in the wrestling universe.
Another The Man They Call Tim's affiliate
part of the
programs.
Part of the portfolio.
What are you getting out of that? Like $5.23 per month these days?
Maybe a free Starbucks along the way. Who knows?
I get that from ordering on Fridays.
But no, I one of the writers there had a really good point when they were reviewing Raw and saying, what they had a real missed opportunity with Priest, because rather than him come back with a sort of vanilla babyface sort of response of, you have no heart and I'm gonna show the world that you have no heart, it's like, just haul off and punch the guy in the face. It's like, like he I'm not trying to say to play into kind of the street aspect of his character, but it's like, this guy just ran him down something savage.
Well, no, they should play into that, because he brought it up.
Right. So if Gunther wants to run his mouth about how privileged he is, great. You want to be privileged? I'm going to crack you across your jaw and I'm going to keep pounding on you until you can't, fight anymore. And so I thought that would have been way more effective to kind of establish Priest as just, you don't mess with him, and that would build some, some further intrigue into the match. I still think there's intrigue in the match. It's just, I just think this whole I'm the privileged guy, you're not, is just kind of, I don't know, dated and not the thing that I'm super interested in.
I'm hoping that they're going to use the next couple weeks to build that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not like just come right out with it. Maybe it's like it's this idea that Gunther is pushing him to this place.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not even going to be, like a title change at SummerSlam. Maybe it'll be what's the friggin' September pay-per-view? I don't know. Maybe it'll be that, or October, when they finally, it's basically just pushing Priest into this place.
Yeah.
Because that actually plays into the one of the other segments on Raw, the Chad Gable. And what the heck are his new buddies there?
In a strange twist of irony, the Creed brothers, which I would have I don't know. I just would have pictured them differently. But anyways,
Yeah, it's a little odd, but at the same time, it does kind of fit a little bit more of
they're
like,
kind of like the new Alpha Academy in a way.
yeah,
So,
which to me makes a lot more sense.
yeah.
Aside from like, the Alpha Academy being like a bunch of misfits that, misfit toys that Chad is kind of playing with, which I kind of like. I'm anxious to see how they incorporate some of that, but yeah, I'm hoping it's pushing in a similar way to what Bo Dallas was pushing Chad Gable. So this is the one that you watched without the audio, correct?
It is. I thought, and so what I read was, I didn't catch on to the fact that he said "there you are," but that he was also doing the Luke Harper, yeah, 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 or something like that. Was he doing that? I couldn't really tell from the.
I don't
lack
know
of
because
audio.
I honestly I don't know a whole lot about the history of the Wyatt family, so
Okay.
I don't know if what kind of that would be. He
L-
might have been. I
Luke
just
Harper sometimes when he was in a match and he would get the opponent kind of like beat up in the, kind of in the corner, he would kind of walk away from the corner and kind of do like this sort of thing where he was just like kind of exasperated and he'd be like, yeah, 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 yeah. And he just like haul toward the guy and give him a massive clothesline or something like that. And fans used to like love that, it was just such a weird tick that he would do. It was just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then the crowd would do it back to him. So it was kind of,
well, let's actually go back. Let's talk about the Eric Rowan segment because
yes, that was the second one I saw. Yes,
that was actually really good. And I know Uncle Corny is not digging on all this stuff. I actually think it's interesting that, and we'll get into my thoughts a little bit on the production aspect of it. But I think it's interesting that you have like Bo Dallas talking about his brother, and that there is that playing into the things and him kind of taking up the mantle as the head of the Wyatt family, almost like inheriting that and rebuilding that. I think there's a lot of merit to that. I thought it was a great promo because at first when he was talking about losing his brother, I was like, oh, okay, well they're talking about Bray Wyatt. They're talking about Wyndham Rotunda. Because I'm like, oh, they're not going to mention Luke Harper. All right, I forget what was his.
So his real name was Brody Lee.
Okay, yeah, I was like,
but he goes by Luke Harper. Yeah,
yeah, I was like, they're not going to. Are they really going to bring him up because it was last in AEW? And then I kind of for a little while I forgot that Triple H is in charge of things, and that they're like, no, it's okay to talk about people. And then when he went to the part of then I lost my other brother, and I'm like, oh wow, we're like, I like how they're blending reality and storyline with this. I do. Yes. I feel like it might be a little overproduced, but you know what? I mean, whatever, dude. Wrestling is soap operas turned up to 10. Fine. Whatever. I'm fine with that.
I think it's incredibly smart how they're doing it. Like they're not playing this as, this supernatural set of characters have come to Raw and are going to start haunting Chad Gable. And like that would come off as campy and
well, there is a little bit of a supernatural element. And that's where with Corny, I do agree in some ways, like just the fact that it's like everything stops and all that. Like but I get like the production, like you do have to do some of that. And there is drama in that. And I feel like overall they're erring on the side of still being good, but man, it's kind of a 60-40 split. Like it's a very thin line you're walking. Like you better pay this off in good ways and make this work in the long run, because otherwise people are going to go back and be like, okay, and here and here and here and here and here, and this is why it sucks.
Yeah.
But no, that I thought that interview was actually really good.
Well, and I like how they're basing it in reality. You know, like they're showing the this eclectic group of characters is, yes, they're there, but they're there with a purpose, and that purpose is somewhat based in reality and the sense of family in the midst of loss and that sort of thing. And so I think it was the smartest thing they could have done, because now it's not 100%. It's tied to Bray, but it's not 100% derivative. It's not like we're picking up the Uncle Howdy character from where we left off after the LA Knight feud,
yes,
and having it just move forward. It's okay, but Bo Dallas is very clearly Uncle Howdy, but it's this alter ego he puts on because of the brokenness that he's, basically articulated. And Rowan's broken, and we're going to probably hear from the other three as well. And now we're going to have a full set of, okay, this is a group of people who are screwed up and lost and broken, and now they're a wrecking ball that's coming through, to prove a point or make a point to the rest of the roster. And so I think it's a great way to not have it be campy and have it have some value and resonance, because everyone loves the Bray Wyatt character and what it represented. And it's such a great way to anchor to that, but not have that be the focal point anymore. It's kind of there on the periphery. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very much like in one of I think it was Mankind's first Mick Foley's first book, where he talked about the thing with Vader, and it was like, let's not just base this on your history with Vader. Let's create some history and then refer to that as additional material. This is really kind of building this at the same time as you're referring back to that, but it really is kind of defining this as like, this is a new thing. And I like how it's like, I've taken, like this, it is like a little bit of the Island of Misfit Toys, and, taking like Nikki Cross, Dexter Loomis, Eric Rowan, these folks who have kind of been forgotten. Like, I mean, Nikki Cross was kind of like, nobody knew what to do with her. And then she kind of,
she was the women's champion for a while.
Yep. And, but then they, and did really well with Almost a Superhero, which was like kind of a bogus gimmick. And she made that work. And then they brought her back to her crazy screaming self, and they didn't know what to do with her. And then they put her on the shelf. And I think in that time, like, she actually ended up getting, she finished a degree or something. Like, she is, she's wicked smart. And granted, I'm saying that, so it doesn't take much to outclass us, but still, she's wicked smart. And then, Dexter Loomis, who's a guy who, wasn't he in AEW? Did he go to AEW and then come back, or has he always been with WWE?
Dexter Loomis? No, he's been in NXT.
Okay. So, but that's another guy who kind of has not really gone anywhere. Like, they just had him sitting around staring at people. So it's like, I like how they're kind of grabbing people who are a bit of the unwanted, and it has a double meaning. Like, there is like the unwanted of the roster, and they're putting them in this, and they're giving them something to do. And I hope that it ends up flourishing into this other thing.
Yep.
And then of course we get to what we were just talking about, the Chad Gable segment with Alpha Academy 2.0. Because I mean, hell, we have Bloodline 2.0. Why not Alpha Academy 2.0? And essentially beating the living hell out of Bo Dallas after Chad Gable called him out, ambushed him, brings him to the ring, beats the living tar out of him. Bo Dallas keeps laughing.
Yeah. Yep.
And it throws them off, and Chad Gable keeps ordering the Creed brothers to keep beating him up. I will say that Chad Gable throwing the elbows in didn't look as good as if he'd done something else. That is the one criticism I have of that. However, Chad Gable beating him up with like the 1970s slacks, like the double knits with like the built-in belt and everything. I'm like, that needs to be Chad Gable's look from now on. Like, there's something about that just says smarmy a-hole that I'm like, yes, we found it. We found his thing. And then Bo just keeps laughing. Keeps laughing in his face, and they keep beating up at him. He keeps laughing, and at one point, Chad Gable's beating the hell out of him in the corner, and then they have the camera close enough to pick up Bo saying, "There you are." And that was one of the most eerie fracking things I think I've heard in a long time, because then Gable looks like he's seen a ghost, because it literally is that moment of like, he's pushed him to this place, and it's like Bo Dallas / Uncle Howdy is like, there's the real you.
Yeah.
You're vicious. You're this. You're that. You're violent. You're a freak. You're this. And I'm like, oh, this is a cool place you're going to. Like, this could go to a lot of different spots. And that's why I mentioned like the whole thing with Gunther and Priest. Like, I hope it's, and I feel like there's a lot of those things like in McIntyre Punk, like there's a lot of that, like pushing people to the limit
Mm-hmm.
that's happening right now. And I kind of like that. Like, I want to see where those characters live when they're out at the extremes. So then, of course, we get then of course the lights go down, the fireflies come out, all that stuff. We get smoke and everything. The one thing that I would have loved if they could have pulled it off, and I kept thinking of it as they showed, like, Chad Gable and the Creed brothers there, kind of as the lights are flashing, they show them in not profile, but like kind of, you see the outline.
Mm-hmm.
The coolest thing would be if they had brought up the lights and there's Bo Dallas sitting up on the top turnbuckle with the Uncle Howdy mask on, just out of nowhere. That would have been like, okay.
Yep.
You've done well. They didn't decide to do that. I think it's a lost opportunity.
Yep.
But they bail out of the ring, and then we have all of the Wyatt Six, even though there's 5 of them. So we're calling it the 6.
Well, 5 plus Howdy, I thought.
No, because we got Cross, we got Loomis, we got Rowan, we got Howdy.
No, you got Gacy,
and then you got Howdy. So that's 5.
So Cross, Loomis, Gacy, Rowan.
That says to me they're trying to pull in either
Cross. Did I already count Cross?
I don't know.
Gacy, Loomis, Rowan, Cross. No, it's got to be 6. Who?
It isn't 6 yet. That's the thing. I think Gable is going to get pulled into it.
Oh, there you are.
Which, honestly, wouldn't it be awesome if all of a sudden Gable turns into the Fiend?
That would be pretty cool. He is an ugly son of a gun, that Chad Gable. I just remember going back like a few months when Punk was still, his arm was still in a sling and he was going out to cut a promo, and they hit his music. Like, he just gets to the arena and he's walking and he's like, tell him to hit. Oh yeah, he tells Pierce, he's like, tell him to hit my music. I'm going out. And he's walking and his music starts and he's walking by and there's Gable just, verbally browbeating poor Otis.
Mm-hmm.
And he's walking by and all of a sudden Gable turns around to say hi to him. He's like, what's going on? He's like, go easy on him, man. He just keeps walking. It's hysterical.
Voice of the voiceless, man. What do you want to do?
Good old Punkster. Punkster.
But I thought towards the end a little overproduced, but still I really like the way they're going with this.
Yeah.
All right, what other segments do we have?
So you said something about, so I did see the end of, I think it was the end of the show where, or I don't know if it was the ending segment, but it was Liv Morgan getting involved.
Do we want to cover McIntyre?
Oh, there was that one too. It's gonna be a long week in Geek, man. Do you just want to do this then, or
we can do this and maybe one other thing,
and the trailer probably?
Yeah, a sense of completion. We got to get through this.
Folks, I cut and pasted a couple articles in, but Uncle Todd wielding his power. And,
I want to talk about the wrestling. I'm sorry.
All right, so McIntyre and Adam Pearce, again, just masterful milking of this story with him and Punk. So. Indefinitely suspended, Drew McIntyre is invited back to Raw. Adam Pearce, and what I find interesting in this is really kind of the minor, what I guess they kind of treated as somewhat of a minor detail was his talk about how the fans want to see McIntyre and Punk at SummerSlam, which they wouldn't be saying that if Punk wasn't close to being medically cleared. I mean, that's kind of a really nasty trick to like dangle that carrot and then be like, well, he's not cleared, we're not going to have the match. It's like, oh my god.
Well, okay, I have a thought, but go ahead.
But nonetheless, so he invites McIntyre to come to the ring and talks up the fact that everyone wants to see those two go at it. Pierce wants to put the match on.
Oh, and playing like the Mick Foley aspect too, like almost going full on like thumbs up, cheap pop.
Yep.
And I think that's what everyone wants.
That's right.
Good
and,
God.
McIntyre is very level-headed and, in what he says. And then Pierce presents him with his condition. And the condition is this, that you need to apologize to these officials who you have, you have violently hit and hurt and they were in pain, and these poor men, you need to apologize to them. And that just sends McIntyre just like
Oh yeah.
He's just like,
but at the same time, like it is heel 101. Like
it
the
is.
heel must feel like he is justified. He is right. And in his world, his reality, like he is, and that's why this works so
he
well.
He thinks he's been screwed. You know, everyone screwed him out of his title opportunities when in fact it was Drew that was his own worst enemy. And so absolutely. So yeah, he doesn't apologize. And then Pierce tells him that, all right, well, then I have no choice but to continue to suspend you until you do. And now what I see happening next week is you have Punk come out and basically just needle the crap out of McIntyre by saying, well, all he had to do was apologize, but clearly he's too afraid to fight me.
But the most interesting part of this was, and I've said many times, like Adam Pearce is I love how they have the two GMs so different.
Yeah.
Adam Pearce is the befuddled, beset upon, like it really looks like he's been chains, you know, there's many times it looks like he's been chain smoking and drinking coffee, just like,
yes,
I just got to get through tonight. I just got to get through tonight. That's all. Like just as soon as it hits 10, I'm off. I'm fine.
Yep.
And then they've got what's his face for SmackDown? Oh my gosh. Nick Aldis.
Oh, Nick Aldis, right.
Who is put together. He's a man's man. Like you don't mess with Nick Aldis. He's going to come out there and lay his hands on you. Here we saw Pierce take the glasses off, like essentially the male equivalent of like hold my earrings.
Yep.
Like he was ready to like go. I was like, go on with your bad self, Adam. Like, all right, about time we see a little spine. Like this is all right. This is good. This is good. Yeah, no, this whole thing was great, and I'm hoping. And I feel like this is a deservedly unused trope, and it should be unused. It should be very rarely used.
Yeah.
I feel we might be heading towards an unsanctioned match at SummerSlam, where I think they're gonna say Punk isn't cleared, Drew is suspended, and there is going to be some way that they're going to like say this is an unsanctioned match. Like
I like it. I like it.
No holds barred, sort of like I don't know how you frame it to make sure that both these guys live through this, because I kind of get the vibe from both of them. They live and breathe this crap. So that's kind of frightening. But that's where I kind of feel like this is going. And damn, I'm there for it. I think that could be cool.
Yep. Agreed. Agreed. This has been just a master stroke of storytelling this year with those two in working in that injury and all the extracurriculars, and then getting Rollins woven back into it, who
came out to make the save.
Who was originally supposed to be Punk's opponent at WrestleMania. So yeah, no, they're just doing such a great job with this, and it's going to be a phenomenal match. I have no doubt.
I would argue Drew is bigger now than when he was champ.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. He was hurting for direction, and Punk's arrival and the way they spun the injury that happened, which, there was no heat between him and Drew at Royal Rumble at all. And then the way Drew just leaned into it.
Oh my gosh.
Was
so good.
Just amazing. And I have no doubt, as much as they talk about not liking each other and everything else, I have no doubt this has to be like a brainchild of Punk's. Like, as soon as the injury happens, he's like, look, I'm going to be out. You do what you do on social media.
I think both of them.
Yeah.
Because I think Drew, I mean, you don't go through the stuff that Drew McIntyre has gone through and still be in the business now if you don't love it. Like he was being like McMahon, Vince was leading him to be like the next big thing.
Yep.
And they ended up getting rid of him because they're like, we just can't get you over, and this and that and the other. And it's like, he went around the horn and got himself back and has hung around this long. Like, you don't do that unless you're in love with this business. Otherwise, you just go and, I don't know, work at Sears and sell Lady Kenmores or whatever. I don't know, like whatever, sell real estate. You do something else, because let's face it, like wrestling is not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're trading your future health for dollars. You're working how many nights a week and all this. Like, you gotta love this. So to me, it very much feels like this is a brainchild of both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because there is so much goodness on both sides of this. It almost feels like, okay, well, you do this. Oh no, you do this. And then like, no, you would never say this. You do this. Oh no, you never say that. You do this. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if this is very much 50-50. You know, I think Punk's really good. I think Drew is actually really good too.
Yeah.
And probably Triple H is like there. Oh, thank God for these guys. I'm going to draw so much money off of this crap. Goodness gracious.
Agreed.
This is going to make me look so good. Yeah. And then, of course, we follow that up. So you didn't see the Dom, Liv, Rhea segment.
The only thing I saw with Dom and Liv was just the end of the match that he was in, where she got involved and she ends up he ends up on top of her, and then she flips it around, and then Rhea comes down to, and I absolutely love the visual of Liv just like running up the stairs of the stadium, like in high heels. Like I thought that was absolutely hysterical. Just like
not even high heels, like platform boots
or platform. Yeah. I mean, it looked painful to be running in those things.
Oh
but
yeah,
nonetheless.
Yeah.
But that's about all I saw. I
believe
didn't
the promo happened before that.
Okay, so no, I didn't see the promo.
I don't know.
I got to watch that still. So you're gonna have to speak to that.
So it was. I mean, of course, the week before we got Mommy's back, and she showed up and didn't say anything. Showed up when Liv and Dom were looking like they were getting a little too cozy, and she shows up and Liv scurries off like a roach when you turn on the lights. And then comes down for an actual honest to goodness promo and is talking about Liv and all these things. Dom comes down, instant booze. Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, heel heat is alive and well and walking around on two legs, and its name is Dominic Mysterio. People love to hate this dude. The man got booed at his own wedding, and God bless him for that, because you got to live
special kind of person right there.
And let me just say, like, you won't hear me say this very often. That mullet is glorious. It actually outclasses Eddie Guerrero's mullet. And I don't say that with any shade towards Eddie. That is like just how good this mullet / mustache combo is. It's amazing. So Dom comes down to try and mend fences with Mommy. I believe at one point, before he comes down, they were chanting, the crowd is chanting Mommy, which I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so over. It's not even funny. Like, she's not even a tweener. Like, she's so close to being a baby face. All it needs is like a little, not even a nudge. It needs like a blink. Then Dom comes down. He has a black rose. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so bad. He's wearing his purple cow freaking vest. He comes down to try and explain. The crowd boos him instantly as soon as he opens his gob. And then we get Liv, because originally Rhea was calling Liv down to the ring. And then we get Liv on the, I guess it's not called the Titantron now, the LED screen. And she goes into this whole thing, and she's talking about how close she's gotten with Dom, and, how her voice is rough because she was just in Mexico City and got to spend time down there. And, she's always been known as a screamer. I'm like, okay, so we're just going like full throttle with this thing.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. So good. Dom tries to make good, but Rhea's not having it. And then apparently there was another bit later on where he's like, he tried to be like, I want you to, you belong to me. And she just gives him this look like, and walks off. And Carlito comes up, and like, this is a different segment. Carlito comes up and is like, dude, not cool. It's like, you know what?
Good old Carlito.
Excellent usage right there. Excellent. Even JD Madonna had his head in his hand, like, oh my gosh, I'm an F up, and I know this is bad.
You idiot.
Yes. But yeah, then Mommy pretty much runs down Liv. And so they set a match for SummerSlam. So now we have Priest Gunter at SummerSlam. We more than likely are going to get McIntyre Punk at SummerSlam. And we have Liv Rhea at SummerSlam, which, holy crap, that and Solo Cody? So that's 4 matches already. We only got one night. It's not until 2025 this goes to 2 nights. So we got 4 matches set already.
It's a stacked card already, man.
According to the Triple H formula of booking, we only got 1, maybe 2 if he decides to be generous.
Mm-hmm.
1 more match to book for this mofo. I mean, gah. It's going to be nuts.
It is. It is. And you haven't even gotten to the secondary titles yet. You know there's going to be LA Knight and Logan Paul for the U.S. title.
That's right. Oh, my gosh. Yeah,
Sammy and Braun Breaker and probably for the IC. I mean, this
how's that going to happen? Are they, like, they can't expand this to 2 nights. Like this
No,
late in
but
the
it's going to
game.
be probably a 3... It's probably going to be a longer than normal event. I mean, it's going to be like 3.5 hours. So,
I mean, they've even been going long now. Like,
not to mention the return of Roman Reigns.
I'm sorry, you have to mention that. Roman Reigns, like clutching the, whatever.
Yes, my tribal chief.
the chili pepper necklace, whatever that is. Yes,
take your time, my tribal chief.
Gosh, I hope they don't play the music because I don't need a 10-minute intro for a run-in.
They
All right.
are going to play the music because the crowd is going to go absolutely bonkers when they hear it.
Yes.
And even more so when both he and Heyman appear side by side, because then it will be the wise man reunited with the tribal
Heyman's going to be
chief.
in a neck brace, right? He's got to be. He will be.
It'll have been a month since then. How
Can you
long does he
imagine,
take
like,
to heal?
Can you imagine the flab just push off?
Yeah.
How that's going to look? And he'll be like, "Oh no, that's money."
Tribal chief.
All right. I've extended our weekend geek here. What else do you want to do here? Do you want to do the trailer? Do you want to go to something else?
All that we have time left for is the trailer, even though I slaved away at these other 2 articles, but that's all right. We'll move it to the next one. All right. Well, as is wont to happen over the course from episode to episode, we have some trailers that come out, and some more interesting and enlightening than others. In this case, and it was kind of funny because I think last episode we were talking about how we hadn't really heard, or maybe it was episode or 2 ago, we talked about how we hadn't really heard much about Captain America: Brave New World and how it's been so long since Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where you're just kind of like, what the heck happened and why am I interested in this? Well, they have come and reminded us why we should be interested. So we are going to do
Feige and Triple H are listening to this.
They're getting free creative from us, man. Come on, we need to get some dollars for these ideas.
At the very least, Triple H needs to get us in on a couple of these meetings because we've been booking pretty good for him.
Yes, my tribal chief.
Thank you, Shmuley.
Ah, there we go. I haven't heard Shmuley in a while.
They've got to get Sami Zayn in on this whole thing, please.
I think we're going to see a reunion of sorts.
We need to see the honorary Oos.
The Bloodline Civil War at War Games.
Oh, come on.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Wouldn't you love to have that just as Sammy comes running down the aisle, they cut to Paul. Shmuley! I mean, come on. Wouldn't that be heartwarming?
It would. Absolutely.
I think it would be.
Absolutely.
Granted, I'm in the minority.
All right.
Okay. Anyways, Captain America. Yes.
So we are going
my tribal
to
chief.
watch this trailer and comment on it in real time, which I know for our listeners probably ends up with us in awe, quiet throughout most of it. But I'm
actually going to try to do a picture-in-picture for this. I forgot last time. I'm going to try this. I mean, we'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, do you have it queued up, sir? This is the official teaser trailer of Captain America: Brave New World in theaters. And this is going to test a lot of relationships because it's going to be coming out in February 14th of 2025. Priorities, gentlemen, priorities.
Think twice.
Tread lightly.
Think thrice. Yeah.
It's a trap!
Kind of is.
Stay on target.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have it queued up, sir?
I do, sir. Let's do this thing.
Count it down in 3, 2, 1, play. We're entering into the Oval Office or some sort of government building. Is this Air Force One? The president looks like Harrison Ford.
I love the new look acknowledgement.
Yes. That's because you're a different person.
This is
Captain America is an official military role. Giancarlo Esposito holding a machine gun.
Yeah.
That can't be good. A better way forward. And Isaiah
Are you just going to
goes
repeat the
to
entire
town.
thing?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Dang!
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
This does a really good job of, like, ratcheting up tension the whole way through.
It's a trap!
It's a trap.
Power is shifting. You're just a pawn. You may be Captain America, but you're not Steve Rogers.
And here we go.
And he should have said, that's not an insult. That's a fact of life.
That's not a spoiler.
Oh, yeah. Here comes the Falcon wings, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Going supersonic. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
We see the shield, and next to the shield we see...
Yeah, Red Hulk.
Red Hulk. Very nice. Very nice.
Dang.
Well, it gives you all the feels, doesn't it?
It does. And apparently a lot of reshooting going on with this movie. Extensive reshooting that was costly. Like, there was a lot of money and a lot of rewrites and a lot of reshooting for this flick. So we'll see how it all turns out.
Know who is possibly part of some of the reshoots, or maybe it was the reshoots that overlaid what he did, but Seth Rollins.
Seriously? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought he got written out in the reshoots.
That's why I meant by that. Like, he may
Okay.
have gotten written out in the reshoots, but
Yeah.
at some point it was reported that Seth Rollins had filmed some kind of a role for the movie at some point. So
I thought he got written out, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, no, this looks good. I mean, for sure.
it looks like it falls in line with the other Captain America movies, which have always been very good at doing the political intrigue, the kind of twists and turns. And
well, I mean, specifically Captain America 2. I mean, Captain America 3, Civil War was really Avengers 2.5.
But it did have twists and turns to it.
Oh, it definitely did, and it had political intrigue for sure. But I don't always think of that as a Captain America movie.
Yeah.
I always think of Captain America 2 as more of the political intrigue.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, to your point, no, totally. It falls in line with that. And I think if it's as good as the trailer, we're back on track, baby.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, we are.
And, of course, taking into account the movie that we'll be talking about today.
Aha! Maximum effort!
All right, sir. What do you think?
With all that raw talk, the Captain America Brave New World trailer, Uncle Todd co-opting what has been my segment on this show, that, my friends, is a non-cut and paste Week in Geek.
Just trying to help you out, sir. Just
Thank
trying to
you,
help
sir.
you out.
I appreciate
it. All right. So we are going to be going through a whole bunch of rumors. Some are from websites of ill repute, some of good repute.
Hey, that's part of my portfolio. Don't be saying things like that.
And just some from the minds.
Dock me a penny when you say ill repute.
From the ill repute.
Damn it.
All your profits are gone. And some just from the mind of the man they call Tim. These are rumors and thoughts of what will happen for Deadpool and Wolverine. And we are going to go through these and determine which one are true, which ones are false, which ones are going to definitely happen, which ones are not going to happen, which are, as the great WWE Hall of Famer, the Iron Sheik, would say, is the real, which means true, or the false, which means jabroni. So, that being said, sir, how would you like to proceed?
Well, we have this broken out into our tailor-made segments that we have as part of the Free Range Idiocy show. There we go. I was going to say, do we want to let the listeners hear how the Shiki is going to work into this a little bit, because Uncle Todd has a few other sounds in the soundboard.
Well, the funny thing is, like anybody who's on the interwebs these days knows about the Hawktua lady. The original Hawktua was, of course, the Iron Sheik.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Lest we not forget.
Let's give respect where respect is due.
There it is.
And there it is. But anyways, we have a whole bunch of rumors here.
Our ratings were also derived from the Shiki. So, you have those sounds, don't you?
I do, but I was going to save those. But here we go.
Okay.
He's the red
And then we have...
jabroni.
There we go. All right.
Makes
Very
him
nice.
humble.
Very nice.
You are worse than Hulk Hogan.
One of us will be humbled and worse than Hulk Hogan when we lose and have to buy the other a bottle.
Speaking of which,
bourbon.
I believe there is a tab that is due, because
there is no tab because you changed your answers.
Oh my gosh.
You did. And we have it in the recording. You changed your answers. I would have beaten you had I not allowed it.
So what? We're just completely nullifying that one?
I'm pretending that didn't even happen.
You're protesting. I've cut out all the really nasty ones in order to make room.
I was going to say, what sound is he going to play?
I got nothing. I'm like Negasonic Teenage Warhead from Deadpool 1. You got me in a box here.
Oh my gosh, that's hysterical.
Frack.
All right. Well, so we're going to have an agreement. We are not going to change any sort of... All picks today are final. There is no returns. There is no refunds. There is no switcheroos.
I've had just about enough of you, sir.
All right. Well, pour yourself another. All right.
I think I will, as a matter of fact.
Good on you. Good on you. All right. Well, as we like to start off our Reel and Jabroni, we have our first segment called In or Out. This is really about who are we going to see or not see in this movie. And that is where the Reel and Jabroni will fall. So we will start this one off in typical free-range idiocy fashion. Number one, sir, Reel or Jabroni, we will see the X-23 Wolverine, whose name is escaping me, but she was a kid at the time they filmed Logan, she is now probably going to be an adult. But are we going to see the X-23 Wolverine?
He's the red.
Oh, Uncle Todd is saying the Reel on this one.
I'm being optimistic here because I think she was a tremendous part of Logan, and I really hope, even if it's just for a split second, I hope we get a cameo.
Yep, I'm going to go the Reel on that as well. All right, number two. This one's interesting. So I worded it thusly. We will see one or more of the OG X-Men. And I list out Professor X, Storm, Cyclops, Jean Grey, or Magneto. So I'm basically saying of those five, we will see one or more of them in the movie.
Okay, so here is where you might be displaying a little bit of comics ignorance. Okay. The original X-Men were Beast, Cyclops, Jean Grey, I think Angel?
Okay.
And Professor X was the leader. Storm came along later. Magneto was the arch nemesis of Professor X.
Yeah, so I'm thinking more about the movies when I put this together. So
so you're thinking
2000
like
sort of era movies, really that class of X-Men, and I guess for Magneto villain.
Well, the weird thing is. So again, you get the Stuart McAvoy question from Deadpool 1, and then everyone else, of course.
Well, that's why I said OG. OG means the 2000. The late 90s,
so we're talking like
Patrick
Ian
Stewart,
McKellen.
Ian McKellen, strictly. We're talking Halle Berry as Storm. We're talking what's his name as Cyclops. We're talking Famke Janssen as Jean Grey. All right?
I love how like Cyclops is the one guy like, whatever his name is, but Famke Janssen, because I mean,
hey,
she is.
As far as I'm concerned, Cyclops was a jobber, baby. He was a jobber. He was jobbed out.
He kind of was, really, especially in X3.
Oh.
Let's see, one or more. You know what? I'm gonna go.
I'll go first.
He's the red.
Okay.
I'm going the real. We got to see at least one of them. I mean, Patrick Stewart is in that part of his career where it's house money, man.
Yep.
Come on, you can't like blue screen 5 seconds.
Yep.
He did for friggin' Doctor Strange 2.
I hear you.
You can't. You tell me that Hugh called him up and was like, "Hey, one more ride, man. I know you already got the dome shaved. Let's go."
We know you're prepped. Let's have it. Come on. All right, number 3.
Literally, all you have to do is sit in the chair. It's easy work.
That's it. Just roll them out. Tell a story. Have a flashback. Take out Thanos in the process. You know what I mean? That's all you got to do.
Oh, that'd be great.
Number 3, we will see Blade as played. Well, now I don't have this written here. We will see Blade make his MCU debut. Now, in the articles I saw, it is referencing Wesley Snipes. So we are talking about the Wesley Snipes Blade. Oh, are we talking?
Jabroni.
Okay, Uncle Todd's going jabroni.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the real on this.
As much as I would like to see Wesley Snipes as Blade, I just don't know. I don't know that they want to confuse that character.
All right.
Because I think they do want to make a Blade movie.
I could see like a sword fight between him and Deadpool.
Oh, no, it would totally be awesome. But if you want to make a Blade movie and you've already cast like the next Blade, do you want to really bring... Because honestly, like, as long ago as that was, Wesley Snipes is a very distinctive personality.
Mm-hmm.
You bring him back and all of a sudden people are like, we like him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for the 60-year-old, Blade movie. Kind of puts a crimp in your plans.
A little bit.
Yeah. So I'll go jabroni.
You're going to go jabroni. Okay. Number 4. This was an interesting rumor. We will see Gambit make his MCU debut, and this was rumored to be played by Channing Tatum, who I think would make a very fine-looking Gambit.
Yeah, until he needed to open his mouth. I don't know how good of a Cajun accent he has. I'm going to go...
Jabroni!
Oh, I'm going to go the real on this one.
Good. At least we get a little variety in this. There'll be less confusion.
Indeed.
But you know what? Ultimately,
make him humble.
I'm going to make you humble. I'm going to put you in the camel clutch.
All right.
Take back.
Take it easy there, Sheiky. I'm going to kick you with the pointy-toed boots. All right. Next one
I really
is...
did want to get like the Chic intro music, but I didn't have enough room in our soundboard.
Did he even have intro music?
Oh, for his Hall of Fame induction, when they brought it up, like it was kind of cool because it was like this. It was obviously very kind of
like Arabian,
Persian Arabian sort of music.
Okay.
But then it started like about 30, 40 seconds in, it started going hard, dude. It was like as the kids would say, it slapped. I can't even pull that off with a straight face.
I think you need to say that a couple more times. It slapped.
No,
it really slapped.
I don't.
It's like when I say this, that's cringe, and then my children tell me, "Stop it! You're making me."
Yeah. You know what's really cringe, Dad?
Yeah.
You.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Number 5. This is obligatory. This is every reel and jabroni. We have to bring this up. Finally, we will see Mephisto.
So now the funny thing is here, like I could totally see Ryan Reynolds building like a 30-second, 40-second bit out of this.
Time to make the chimichangas.
Like a fourth wall break of this, but I really feel like
Jabroni.
Well, I am gonna go with you on that one. I think this is jabroni as well. This is just not going to be when Mephisto makes his debut. This was an interesting one. Oh,
if there is a mention of Mephisto, it is going to be in the most inappropriate way. Like me
Oh, dear. All right, folks, we're going to move right along. Thank you, Uncle Todd, for that visual.
And you know what? I just want to say I preserved our image. I'd made no comment.
You didn't.
And
none
no
was needed.
Or anything. Yeah.
All right, moving on to number 6, which is what I was trying to do before that just took place. This was an interesting one. I don't remember if it was Game Rant or Digital Trends. It's like, I go back to LA Knight. That's not an insult. That, my friend, is a fact of life. God, that guy has the greatest catchphrases in the world. I swear to God.
What was it? What was the thing that Heyman used to say about, that's not a something, that's a spoiler, but that's not a spoiler. That's
not a prediction.
Oh, it's a spoiler.
That's a spoiler.
Yeah.
Number 6. So from either Game Rant or DigitalTrends.com, we will see a Henry Cavill Wolverine cameo.
So I gotta what?
So again,
what is the background on this?
We're in the multiverse. There can be variants of Wolverine, and the idea would be to have a cutesy sort of crossover of the guy who is Superman playing a variation of Wolverine. Can I give my answer first? Because you've been answering first on all these.
Please.
I'm going to go Jabroni on this one. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I think there's a better chance of X-23 appearing than Henry Cavill and.
So now here's the thing: like the best, like cameo Wolverine appearing would be like a totally CGI Jack Black, like someone who is like diminutive. Because in the comics, like comics accurate Wolverine is like 5'2", 5'3". He's a short, stocky dude.
Yep.
You take Jack Black, CGI out the belly. No offense, Jack. Working my own battle of the bulge. But that's more like the Wolverine cameo I would expect. Like, here's another perfect human being as Wolverine. Like,
yeah,
who fracking needs that? Yep.
I hear you.
Maybe it's just wishful thinking.
I hear you. Number 7.
Yes.
And I'm going to go the real on this one. We will see.
How many of these do we have, sir?
36 total.
Oh, dear sweet God.
We're making progress.
Didn't I try to like narrow you down to like 24 or something?
No, you didn't.
I think I did.
You left me free reign to make this however I see fit, and you took over my segment, so we're going long on this one. All right, we will see Thor make an appearance. Number 7. What say you? I'm saying the real.
Jabroni!
Oh, my. All right. So Uncle Todd does not think Thor will make an appearance. I, on the other hand, do. All right, number 8. We will see an incursion and its effects. So if you remember from Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, there is the threat of incursions happening across multiverses where things get too kind of, tied up and conflicting, and so now universes open up upon each other. We have not seen one take place, and we do know from the trailer that they are in what we think is the Void. So this rumor here is because it's playing in the multiverse, will we end up seeing an incursion? There is an implication that, and we'll get into this a little bit later, that Wolverine somehow failed his world or his multiverse. There are rumors that they will introduce the concept of there are certain people who are anchors for their multiverse, and if they fail or die in some way ahead of where they should have, then that multiverse or that universe collapses. And so, so the thought here is we actually see an incursion take place. That's what this is.
He's the red.
Oh, Uncle Todd going the real on this one.
I think it's got to happen.
You think so?
I mean, in the fracking one of the 18 trailers, because they've released a lot of trailers, a lot of things for this, which is, I can't tell anymore when you're releasing many trailers or a few trailers, whether or not that's a good or a bad sign. I've lost all perspective on this.
Yeah.
Maybe it has to do with this Wild Turkey 101 rye whiskey. I don't know. But
I'm drinking Casey Jones Barrel Cut, baby.
Riding that train
high on cocaine.
There you go.
There you go.
Look at you. You're normally like the wholesome member.
Can I get the jabroni on this one? Because I'm going to say jabroni for this. That's right. Thank you very much, Shiki. I'm going jabroni on this.
For this one.
The Incursion?
No, the Incursion. Oh, yeah. I always said the real. Sorry.
Yeah. Number 9. We're on number 9. We will be introduced to Battle World. And I have in parentheses here, this is the result of multiple fallen worlds being patched together into one world.
Jabroni!
I like how you have those two sounds like back to back, like well engineered, sir. Well done.
I'm trying to work on it, you know.
Well done.
The Battle World thing seems to me very much like it's a fanboy / fangirl thing.
Yeah. And it seems like they're doing that with the Void. If they're actually in the Void, from Loki, it looks like that's what we're dealing with. Because it seems like there's just this hodgepodge of different things in the Void, and they're just kind of piecing. I'm going to go jabroni on this one as well.
It's nice to think about, but at the end of the day, you don't have the benefit of an entire issue to explain it and then wait a month and then the next thing. You got to nail this thing in, let's be generous, 2.5 hours. That's a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
Of course, also it's Deadpool, so it's like comics on meth.
Yeah.
So I still feel vaguely uncomfortable with most of my predictions. I'm going with it.
All right. Number 10, we will see Alioth. This is the creature that roams the Void and consumes the living beings it comes across. We will see Alioth return. I'm going to go the real on this one.
Yeah.
You can go the real?
The red.
All right.
Why not? I mean...
All right, and then number 11. This one threw Uncle Todd for a loop, I think. But this actually was a consistent rumor across all three sources that I was hitting. So it was GameRant.com, DigitalTrends.com, and TechRadar.com. Taylor Swift will make a cameo of some kind in this movie. I'm going to go the real on this one. I think this feels like right in the wheelhouse of something Ryan Reynolds would do. So
here's the thing. When you're dealing with something like this,
yes,
there is a blank space to work with.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that Taylor Swift is a lover of these of Marvel movies.
Wasn't sure where you're going with that. I was like, I hear Taylor Swift is a lover of several individuals.
I mean, quite honestly, Ryan Reynolds is the smallest man who's ever lived. There's a lot of folklore surrounding the Deadpool and MCU in general. But quite frankly, when it really comes down to it, we are never, ever getting back together. I just tied together all of the Taylor Swift songs that I know, and that's all I have.
Very nice.
Quite honestly, the probability of this, normally I would dismiss this out of hand. However, Blake Lively, the quite honestly saintly wife of Ryan Reynolds, because quite honestly, who could be married to this chucklehead? Because if he
seems like he'd fit right in on this show. I mean, I don't
know.
Know.
He would, and he would smoke us both like a cheap cigar, and it wouldn't even be fair.
No.
Is a huge Taylor Swift fan, and is was in the box for Super Bowl Sunday with Taylor Swift. So if anybody's going to get Taylor Swift in a movie, it's Ryan Reynolds.
I'm guessing you're going to say the real on this one.
You know what? If it happens, you know what? It's going to be something somewhat akin to...
Glorious! No, I won't give in till I'm victorious.
I didn't get it.
I don't know. I think Apple screwed you over, man.
He's the red!
I'm going to go with the real. Because
he's just disgusted with the lack of laser show.
I am. The thing is, this is such a. It seems like such a niche thing.
Yeah.
But yet, I would totally go for this. This is where I'm trying to channel my inner Taylor Swift. Like, if I had all the money in the world and all the prestige in the world, and I could do whatever I want, like I'm playing with so much house money, I can piss off whoever I want, and I'm still going to be top of the world. Hell yes, I'm going to be in the Deadpool Wolverine movie. Cue that up.
There you go. There you go. Number 12, we will see different Deadpool variants. And we're dealing with the multiverse, so.
He's the red.
All right, thank you.
And hopefully we get some really good ones.
All right.
Ooh, I'm actually going to change my...
I read a rumor that one of them might be a Deadpool dog, so we will see.
Well, yeah, there is. So there is a dead... what do they call him? Dogpool?
Oh, Dogpool, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's meant to be a variant in the same way that we saw like a... didn't we see a Thor frog or something like that? Or
well, no, we saw Loki Gator.
Loki Gator. Okay, that I thought there was a Thor frog though, or something like that.
Oh no, there is a Thor frog.
Okay.
But we didn't see him or her. It.
Yeah.
I don't know if they ever identified the gender of the Thor frog, but there was a frog who was worthy of being called Thor. So let's just leave it at that. But there was also a Loki Gator.
Okay.
Or Loki Crocodile? Loki Dial?
I think it was Loki Gator. Anyways,
Gator.
Number 13.
Yes.
Robert Downey Jr. will appear as Iron Man and make a cameo. This is a hard one because I could see it. I could see it happen.
You know what would be great?
What would be great?
Robert Downey Jr. making a cameo, but it's not as Tony Stark. It's as his character from Tropic Thunder.
Ah, okay.
Like the actor who's playing the like it would just be so meta. It would make people's heads explode.
I hear you.
And I could see Robert just being like, "Oh hell yeah, I'll do that."
But the rumor of record that is logged in our official documentation is RDJ will make a cameo as Iron Man in this movie. What say you, sir?
Oh, you're going to put me to it first?
Are you waiting for me to go first? I'll go first.
Are we turning this into Poe Dameron? Like, do you go first or do I go first?
I have no idea. I am going to say Jabroni on this one.
He's the red.
Oh,
you know what? I'm voting with my heart on this one.
You do that.
I so want to see like RDJ do Tony Stark one more time.
That would be great.
Even if it's for a split second. Just
yep.
I'm so rooting to get the Tony Stark like heads up display Jarvis version for Ironheart. I am fervently praying for that. I know I'm not going to get it, but still, if we can get just like 30 seconds in this movie, fine. I'm good.
Nice. All right, and our last one in our segment called In or Out is a variant of Kang will make an appearance. A variant of Kang. So we know that the actor playing him is no more in terms of playing that role, but there have been rumors that, or I shouldn't say no more, but he is disqualified, if you will, from playing that role. He's been fired.
Poop canned, perhaps?
Yes. But there have been rumors that there will still be a Kang presence, just in a different form. And so this rumor is: will we see Kang make an appearance?
Will it be Don Cheadle with a Cockney accent?
I think he's currently playing a roadie right now.
I don't care. Like I want to see the Basher from Ocean's 11 version. Just go full on. Like, why not? He replaced Rhodey. Let's just do two. Why not?
Well, I'll put you down for a reel. Okay, how about that?
No. Okay.
He's the red.
All right.
Tough.
I'm gonna go Jabroni on this one myself. So
you go right ahead. You're probably right.
All right. We have now completed our first section of the Reel and Jabroni. We're now in the section that we like to call What's Up with That, where we talk
now
about...
have about approximately 30 more to go.
Yeah, pretty much, about 15.
Okay.
So here we go. These are rumors pertaining to various elements of the story, what we may see in the movie as far as storyline elements.
Okay.
So number 15, this is continuous numbering here. So number 15, the TVA, which we have seen in the trailer. What are you laughing at?
I love how you like continuous numbering. Like,
well, I want to make sure people understand the system. Austin's all about the system. You know what I mean? So
but what other type of numbering are we going to do?
He can roam outside because he knows the system. So
what other kind of numbering are we going to do? Like,
I could start at 1 again.
Oh, jeez.
I'm just saying. New section could start at 1. Decided not to. I'm going with 15.
I appreciate that.
Well, I try. The TVA grabs Deadpool, as we've seen in the trailer, because he fracked with the space-time continuum when he used Cable's time travel device at the end of Deadpool 2, and frankly is now going to pay a price for that. So that is... I'm with
it's
you,
the
brother.
easiest in. I mean, come on.
Jeez, I can't type to save my life. What's going on here? All right, there we go. I'm going to go the real on this one, too. That's... when you consider what the TVA is about and what was established in Loki, it's like Deadpool has violated all sorts of TV rules at this point. So
multiple times. Multiple times.
So he probably is like, yeah, I'm about due. Here we go. All right. Number 16, the TVA grabs Deadpool because they need him to jump into different multiverses and repair damage to them. So they're kind of using him as the fix-it guy of the multiverse. I'm going to go first on this one. I'm going to say Jabroni.
He's the red.
Ooh, interesting. All right. Very nice. Number 17, the TVA grabs Deadpool because he is key to his own world surviving. So this kind of goes into this whole idea of there's an anchor person. And so I'm speculating here that, or this rumor is speculating that he is going to be the key to, like, he's doing this so that his friends have a world to persist in.
Jabroni.
Oh, all right. I'm going to go the real on this one myself. All right, number 18. Deadpool recruits Wolverine to help him in his mission. Is he recruiting him, or what is he doing? I don't know. But what do you say here? Is he recruiting Wolverine, or is he not?
He's the red.
All right.
Yeah. So I think here's the thing. I think Deadpool is operating outside of the bounds of the TVA. So I don't think the TVA is trying to save his reality. I think he's going to try to save his own reality.
Yep. I'm going to go the real on this one.
Right.
Number 19, Deadpool decides to harass Wolverine for laughs and giggles rather than recruit him. So he basically just tries to find him to just, make his life miserable.
Jabroni.
All right.
I mean, it's 50-50. I'm just tossing a coin on that one, honestly.
Knowing how these movies go, I would have absolutely no qualms in seeing that happen, though. Like, he's like, I can jump to any multiverse?
Set of criminals down under.
Where's Wolverine? I want to go harass this guy. So, yeah. Number 20. So we understand Wolverine failed in some way for his world. So this one is Wolverine was killed in battle, which is why he let down his world. I'm going to go the real on this one. What say you, sir?
Jabroni.
I think Wolverine lives. I think that's his punishment.
All right. Well, because I'm trying to figure out what is the failure exactly. It feels like if we go with this anchor theory, the idea is if someone's eliminated ahead of their time, it then unravels their universe. And so that's where I'm wondering if he was taken out, earlier than planned, so to speak, and therefore his world crumbled because of it.
But think of how hard it is to take out Wolverine.
Well, it happened in Logan.
Well, extenuating circumstances, sir.
I hear you. Number 21. The events in this movie set up the formation of Battleworld, the setting for Secret Wars.
Jabroni.
Oh, he's going. Well, wait a minute. Is this an antithesis of... All right, no, you're consistent. Consistent. All right, I'm just making sure. I'm going to go Jabroni on this one as well. I don't think there's a Battleworld anything going on here, so...
No.
All right, number 22, Deadpool and Wolverine are in the void to stop the main antagonist. I'm just calling him that because I have no idea at this point, I don't know who the enemy is, but I'll just say there's an antagonist from destroying both of their worlds. I'm going to go the real on this one.
He's the red.
Oh, you threw me a curveball there. Nicely done.
You're welcome.
The Hatoi was for the antagonist because the Shiki don't like him. But all right, well done, sir. Number 23, Deadpool and Wolverine are in the void as punishment for sassing Paradox, the TVA agent. I came up with this one. I just thought it was kind of funny. So you see, I forget.
There is part of me that thinks that is very highly probable.
So Matthew McFadden, who is part of, oh my God, what is that? Hold on. I just watched it with my wife. McFadden.
Well, obviously you weren't paying attention.
Succession. I'm sorry. He was one of the characters in the show Succession. Matthew McFadden.
Okay.
He plays the British-sounding agent you see in the trailer who is talking to Deadpool. Okay. Apparently, his name is Paradox. And so what this rumor is basically saying is that Deadpool and Wolverine don't end up in the void to serve a purpose. They're thrown in the void because they annoyed the hell out of him to such a degree that he's like, be gone. So
I'm going with that.
Yeah, are you?
It
you know what?
Like
it fits right in with the Deadpool vibe. You know what I mean? It's like, get the hell out of here.
You know what? You need to go into timeout.
Oh, my God. Number 24, Deadpool will find himself at the place where Wolverine died in Logan. So if you remember the movie Logan,
yeah,
Wolverine dies in a fairly wooded area. We see a fairly wooded area in the trailer. So the rumor here is, does somehow in his search for Wolverine, whether it be for harassment or recruitment, does he end up at the place where he dies? And what one rumor I read, I think this was in the Tech Radar one, is that there might be something that happens where he, and this would be in total Deadpool fashion, he digs up Wolverine's dead body to use the adamantium to like help himself in some battle or something like that, or maybe he uses it to fashion his swords or something crazy like that. So anyways, it'd be one of those sacrilegious things where he like digs up, like Logan's body. But
well, there is a Deadpool post credit scene.
Okay.
Or wait a minute, is this fan made?
I mean, I watched the post credit scene in Deadpool 1 and 2, and there was no reference to Logan, so I'm not sure.
Okay, so I think this is fan made.
Probably fan made, yeah.
Anyways, I'm going with the real.
All right.
It seems like it's easy pickings, honestly.
I'm going to go with the real as well because I think that'd be kind of an interesting thing for them to
totally
revisit the Logan story as well.
Which means they're not going to.
Well, you never know. Number 25, Wolverine in this movie is a completely different variant than the one we've seen before and not a rehash of the one from prior movies. So,
he's the red.
All right. And part of that is informed by the fact that this is a yellow costumed Wolverine, which we've never seen before. So I think that would somewhat make sense.
There was in one of the ill-fated, I think it might have been X-Men Origins or one of those spin-off movies. At the post-credit scene did show Wolverine opening a case, and it had the traditional comics, black and yellow costume. But gotcha. This would be the first movie where he's actually appeared in that costume.
Okay. All right. Number 26. The OG X-Men will join Deadpool and Wolverine in taking on the main antagonist. This is kind of like Deadpool's. I mean, he kind of did this in 2 with when he tried to put his whole team together, and then they summarily all like got killed. But this is a his version of trying to do, like, I can totally see this as a Deadpool thing. It's like, I'm going to do my version of Avengers Endgame, and here's what it's going to look like. And here it is, the OG, like, X-Men. So that's kind of where the rumor is coming from. I'm going to go Jabroni on this one.
Jabroni!
Yeah, me as well.
All right. right. This was an interesting one from one of the three sources. I don't remember which one, but the TVA will give Deadpool adamantium katanas. So we see him fight Wolverine with the claws, with the katanas, and the katanas don't shatter, which you think they would, unless it's adamantium on adamantium. I'm going to go the real on this myself.
You are worse than Hulk Hogan.
Oh, thank you.
He's the real.
Where did you find that? What was Sheik saying when he said the real? Like, was he just like...
I'd rather not say because it's complimentary to someone who we would rather forget at this point.
Oh, I understand.
The wrestling promoter whom shall not be named.
Yes. Our version of Voldemort.
Yes. Wrestling Voldemort. Let's just leave it at that.
Let's call it that. All right, number 28. We're down to our last three of this section of What's Up With That? Deadpool will jump into past MCU timelines and frack with them. This one's intriguing to me because it fits his MO to some degree to like jump in and just like mess up something and then jump out. I'm going to go the real on this one too. I think that's a possibility. All right. In the movie, number 29, it's revealed Thor has a connection to Deadpool. So what this means is they reveal some sort of relationship or connection between the two characters that we as the audience were not privy to. And this is part of the Thor cameo. So I have to go the real on this because I did the real on the Thor cameo. So I'm going to go the real.
Then I suppose.
Jabroni!
Is that, that would fit your MO, sir. All right.
Or I could go the real just to split the difference.
This is the time.
You know what?
After this, it's final. Oh, he
real.
Changed his mind. Look at that. Look at that.
I don't want to get your delicate sensibilities all riled up.
Well, you know,
your hackles in some form of an uproar.
Fair is fair when we settle these picks.
What is this? What's that movie? What's that movie from the 80s, early 90s where it's like fair is fair? Isn't it like the Legend of Billie Jean or something like that?
Maybe. I don't remember.
Hang on a second. I'll go ahead and I'll figure that out.
All right, number 30. And our last one in the section of What's Up With That?
It is.
We
it's
learn.
The Legend of Billie Jean.
All right. We learn that if Deadpool fails in his mission, not only his world, but others will be destroyed.
Well, I mean,
He's the real.
kind of feel like that's a shtick with the whole thing, don't you?
Well, I thought it was more about his world.
I know, but
about other worlds.
I mean, for him, yeah, but
I'm going to go jabroni on this one now.
So. Oh.
Yeah. I'll throw you a little wrench there, sir.
I don't know, whatever. You know, you can do whatever you want.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Our final section of 6 rumors is when the man comes around. And quite honestly, these are just variations of kind of the same.
Did you say when the man comes around?
When the man comes around. Like Johnny Cash.
Oh, okay.
You're a sick man, sir. Yeah, you keep that up. All right, number 31. Deadpool will die.
Jabroni!
Well, I mean, but the fact is, like, what is Deadpool dying, honestly? Like, kind of Deadpool sort of died at the end of 2, but not really. So, yeah, jabroni.
I'm going to go the real on this one.
Whoa. Alrighty then.
That's true. That's damn true. All right, number 32. Wolverine will die.
Thank you, Kurt.
Wolverine will die.
He's the red.
Oh.
This is the much more plausible of the two.
All right, I'm going to go jabroni.
Just being so contrarian.
That's right. I'm going to whoop you on this one, sir. I'm going to have +6 at this point. You know what I mean? Watch as Uncle Todd contains his laughter. It's a fool. All right, number 33, the Larry Bird special. Wolverine's world is saved. I'm going to go the real on this one. I think this is going to be a little bit of a redemption.
He's the red.
Yeah.
Number 34, Deadpool's world is saved.
He's the red.
I think both of them will do right by their respective worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Number 35. This is Deadpool. So Deadpool and Wolverine will cause several incursions. Figure because of their tomfoolery.
He is the red.
I'm gonna go the real on this one too. I think they're gonna like tear it up.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be some definite carnage.
The MCU is getting a new butthole.
Oh yeah.
As Paul Heyman said about yay wide.
Now, I know what we put for the earlier 31 and 32 and so forth, but number 36 here, the last one, when the man comes around, Deadpool and Wolverine are stranded in the void at the end of the movie. That would also seem very fitting.
I mean, kind of.
Forever bound in this, void of a reality. So
Jabroni.
you're gonna go jabroni, huh? All right, I'm gonna go the real on this one.
All right.
Just gonna it's like roulette, you play a bunch of bets and you hope they all land. So all right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our version of Real or Jabroni, which, by the way, I went back in the outlines and the last Real or Jabroni we did, believe it or not, was November 20th of last year for the Loki season 2 finale.
Oh, wow.
That was the last time we did a real. Do you remember I think it was 21 or 2022, we had like
Oh God, yeah. It was
4
like
episodes in a row because there was like all this content. There was like the Matrix. There was a Star Wars show. There was Loki.
It was too much.
Oh my God, it was incredible. But nonetheless,
a cornucopia of Real and
Yes.
Jabroni.
Yes.
It's far too much.
All right. So that, sir, wraps up our Real and Jabroni. These picks are now locked in a safe, in a vault, not to be changed, not to be renegotiated.
In a mayonnaise jar.
That's right.
Hermetically sealed in a mayonnaise
That's
jar.
it.
On the man they call Tim's porch.
I'm not going to be negotiated down any further. I've been screwed out of a bottle of bourbon, and I am not allowing that happen again. So, by the way, your ceiling fan is running very well, sir.
Thank you. It's actually rather nice in here. Thank you for reminding me.
Well, I figured, what the heck is going on over there, sir? It's summertime. That thing should be spinning. Should be spinning.
I'm not a smart man, as we both know.
No. Neither am I.
All right, sir. Well, what do you have for and another thing? A suggestion, a little bit of a tip for our viewers and or listeners.
Well, what I have here is a tip and a criticism of said tip. This is going to be so in the same vein as we've been talking about the biographies of WWE wrestlers that have been airing on A&E. They recently started with They recently started. God, that's creepy.
Oh my!
Thank you, Sulu.
Hot puff.
Is that not two ends of the spectrum? You got Iron Sheik and you have George Takai. It's like.
Oh my!
Hot puff.
Oh my!
Whenever you want to finish.
You are worse than Hulk Hogan.
You are worse than Hulk Hogan. All right. In the
Guilty.
same vein as we've had the biographies of WWE superstars, recently A&E has unleashed another genre of biographies around rock legends. And this one in particular, which piqued my interest, no doubt from our episode about 2 episodes ago with our F and Jump comparison of 1984 and For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, was on Sammy Hagar. And quite honestly, this is a tale of 2 kind of sections of a biography, because the early part of it I really enjoyed. I thought gave a really nice background on Hagar and his rise in music, and really how a lot of what he became was so organic and so grassroots in terms of how he did it. Quite honestly, like the crowds he was commanding, it was really, it wasn't a surprise that he did it, because he is a very talented musician and singer, but it was more like, just how he did it, not through making a lot of hits. He just made good rock music that people enjoyed, going to the venues and rocking out to, but, and just kind of built a following that way. And what really surprised me too was when he joined Van Halen, he had a following that was very much on par with them. Like he was a very, he was a big name at that time.
Well, he was planning on taking some time off.
Yeah. Yep. And so the biography was very interesting. What I criticize it for is when, they get into his time on Van Halen, it's really the back end of it where I feel like they do him a disservice, because there's so much that happens with him musically. They do touch on the band he formed after with at the time they called them the Wabaritas. For some reason in the biography they call them the Wabos. But yeah, it was really weird. It was like Sammy Hagar and the Wabos, but it was the band. It was the Vic Johnson and Mona and these characters that this kind of concoction he put together.
Wasn't Michael Anthony in on that?
No, his bass player was a woman named Mona. I forget her last name. Great bass player.
Oh,
later on is Chickenfoot, which is Michael Anthony, Stevie Vai, him, and I forget who the drummer is.
No, it was Chad Smith.
Chad Smith from Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing, is that toward the end, everything is built around Van Halen. Like, they don't talk about, after the Wabos or the Wabaritas, they don't really talk about anything he does musically. They don't talk about how he does. I thought he ended up coming back and doing a tour where it was part Roth, part Hagar.
He did two things. He did the Sam and Dave tour.
Yep.
Which was totally separate from Van Halen.
Yep.
It was Sammy Hagar, David Lee Roth.
Okay.
Tour without Van Halen, and then he did a reunion tour with Van Halen where apparently he was like ready to walk off of it halfway through.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no. So they didn't cover that.
Didn't cover it at all. The way they did it is they kind of flashed up like years, and then he talked about things that happened in that time frame. And when we get to like For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge and basically his exit from the band, like they really didn't talk about Balance a whole lot. It was just like that was it.
There was a bit more to
I know. And so then it jumps to like, the 2000s, and then it jumps to like early 2010s, and then it jumps to 2020. And I'm like, there's a lot of crap you guys are skipping over that he did. And so it like goes from this very detailed biography, which I thought was really good, to really kind of a very thin, kind of telling of his time afterwards. And quite honestly, like I felt in some ways, and, I don't know if it's based on him or his handlers or something, but I felt like anything negative, and I watched this in kind of a video on demand mode on Sling TV, so I don't know if maybe I just missed some parts, because it did seem a little choppy the way it kind of played.
I wonder if some of that didn't have to do with like the availability of Van Halen music and how that played into it.
Well, here's what was interesting. Like in the beginning, he has... Or they have his sons giving some of their perspective of when they were kids and their dad and him being a rock star and all of that. And then there comes this point where he talks about how, he and his first wife end up divorcing, and he meets what is, I think now, his current wife, who he's been with for multiple decades. And like, they don't get there's a part where his sons talk about how he just kind of like leaves one year at Christmas or something like that. Like he just leaves the family. And they come back and they go to commercial, and they come back from commercial, and it talks about how he met his wife briefly and they get together, but like, that's it. And then there's really nothing about the family after that. And I'm just kind of like, it just felt like very hollow. Like it's like they start to go down a road of, maybe he had a moment in time where he wasn't, the best family man, which, and he even says himself, you get married young, you get married young, you are in one place in life, you become this famous rock star, you're now in another place in life, and it's hard sometimes for the partner to kind of follow that, because it's a very different lifestyle. And, and he readily admits, he's like, there was a lot of excesses going on. There was a lot of things that he had access to that, he recognizes he probably shouldn't have done, but they don't go into, and I don't know if it's just because he's trying to keep it not, I mean, Sammy strikes me as someone who doesn't like to dwell in the negativity, and so I think,
ladies and gentlemen,
that is, damn it. I was hoping like you didn't notice that. I wanted to have her like, freak you out.
Well, greetings.
How did you see her?
I actually have the camera up. So, you're interrupting Tim's why
ranting and ravings about Sammy Hagar.
You're interrupting Tim's and another thing, his recommendation to our fans. However, I think he's driven it into the ground.
Have I?
No, you haven't actually. So how things going?
Good. It smells like it's out of I don't like. Oh, it's the candle. That's why.
I have a candle going because I
thought for a second she was going to say it
I don't know
smells
what
like
that thought process was.
smells like butt in that room.
it probably does, honestly. That's why I have the candle going.
What does he say it smells like?
He said it smelled like butt.
Oh, it smells like man, so not far off.
We raised her to be honest, ladies.
She calls them like she sees them or smells them, for that matter. Seen, felt, smelt, and dealt.
So, what is your contribution to this show?
I have a joke. I don't think you're gonna. I think you're probably gonna get it. It's probably gonna be really easy for you.
Okay. Well,
she grossly overestimates the idiocy on this show.
How do you get an idiot to say how?
How?
I'll play along. How?
I tried, okay? It was one of the last jokes I had. The other one was, but I would have had to get a pass for a swear on the other one.
Ooh. She's bringing vulgarity into this.
Okay, well, wait a minute. What is a swear?
Okay, hold on.
What does a swear start with?
Rethink. A. I gotta rethink.
It starts with A.
That could have been anyone's ass.
Okay. All right. You have been granted a pass.
Really?
What is the joke?
Oh, dear.
So I won't get grounded?
Because Uncle Todd runs a tight ship.
You don't have a license yet. How are you going to be grounded? All right.
Fair point. Being grounded is actually probably the best thing you could do because I have books. I have books.
It's so painful how
you do chastise her to not stay up late reading, of all things. Which, quite honestly, if my children did that, I'd be like, read! Stay up as late as you want!
And ladies and gentlemen, it's 10:39 p.m. here on the East Coast. All right. Hit us with it.
Why shouldn't you go up against dinosaurs?
Tim?
Well, the answer has to involve the word ass in it at some level. I don't know.
Everyone feared the Tyrannosaurus. Don't know.
Because you'll get Jurassic.
Oh, well done.
That's actually really good.
That is really good.
I didn't get the last part right. I probably should have said like kicked with like more said kicked, but my vocal stuff isn't working right now.
That's all right. You can work on your timing later on this summer.
Yeah.
We'll get you that. We'll get you that spot at the Comedy Store. Don't worry.
I doubt I'll make it.
Sure you will. If Pauly Shore made it, you can make it.
Who's Pauly Shore?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we're old.
Hey-oh.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Kaylin's Corner.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
All right. Are you finally going to bed now?
Yeah, I feel like I had something else in my mind, but I can't remember what now.
Nothing else in your mind? Or you had something else in your mind? I'm sorry. I have headphones on.
I don't know anymore.
Has she watched Deadpool?
No. She hasn't.
See, why do you gotta give me like you and Mom's memory combined, so it's like officially like the worst memory on the planet Earth?
Wow. Now
That's
she's
how
trashing on the
DNA
memory.
works. I'm sorry.
I don't like it.
Okay. Well.
I also get like your genetics. I was made fun of that in middle school, so thank you for like 3 years.
Okay. We're dealing with like therapy now.
So we've gone from Kaylin's Comedy Corner to Kaylin's rants.
Anyways.
And furthermore, how did you two do this to me?
Are you going to bed now?
Yes, I'm going to bed now.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Sleep well.
I'm still angry.
I know you're angry, but sleep well anyways.
You know
Think-
very well I'm gonna be up like reading for like
Think on positive things. You know, like all the stories you like to write about murder and killing.
That's what I was just gonna say. I was just gonna say murder.
Oh, there we go.
Serenity
And
now.
that, ladies and gentlemen, is
Sanity
Kaylin's
later.
Corner.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Extra
Good night.
chatty
Love
tonight. Extra chatty.
you.
Laying into you and your you and your wife and the genetics you passed her.
And deservedly so. Like, you know.
How could you give me this memory? What were you doing to me?
It's not so much the memory. Ladies and gentlemen, can I just tell you, I'm a swarthy human being. And I've unfortunately passed that along to my daughter. Look there. Look,
Oh, dear.
Those are the genetics that she's dealt with.
Nice. Well, anyways, to wrap up my
that's a person who's going to be like burn out a lot of Lady Remingtons as well.
My contribution, hair everywhere.
I'm sorry. On all counts.
Also
Anyways.
known as Sasquatch. But nonetheless.
Or Chewbacca.
All right, there we go. So I'll wrap up mine. Biography, A&E's biography with the rock legends, Sammy Hagar. Do check out at least the first half of it. The back half will be a little disappointing, but nonetheless, great guy. It's great to hear, his stories and his, kind of rise to stardom, which was very much, hard fought and earned. And so, do check it out. It's fascinating guy. What is your ending of things?
I originally had another idea, but I'm going to go with my second choice here. I tried to tie together some songs by Taylor Swift in my middle-agedness, and probably failed miserably. And there's probably a whole bunch of the Swifties who are out to get my ass right now. But anyways, there's actually a dude who I know personally and have shared a stage with, who covered a Taylor Swift song and did a fairly damn good job. Excuse me. My gosh. The seltzer's getting to me.
I was going to say, the seltzer wreaks havoc on one's vocal cords.
The ginger lime mule is kicking back on me.
Mm-hmm.
But that gentleman is John Tibbs, and he covered the song Lover, which is not an easy one to do. It's actually, and it's a great tune, dude. I mean, that's the thing. Like, people can give Taylor Swift any sort of shade they want and say like, oh, I don't like it, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. You can't say this person is not a good songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
She writes really good songs. She's a great lyricist. I mean, people can criticize like, oh, well, the blah, 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 and go into chord structure and all that crap. But I mean, quite honestly, let's face it, 3-4 chords is all you need for a pop song. And it's fairly, the chord progressions are kind of what they are. So let's not get into that. She's really good. Mm-hmm. She's really good. Her stuff is good. And his cover of Lover is really good. I highly suggest you go and download it and, by all means purchase it. I mean, give the man a couple shekels here, because it's a really good cover. It's not an easy thing to cover I don't know how many folks know this, but if you're going from a male vocal to a female vocal or a female to a male vocal, it's not an easy thing to interchange those. Mm. You're usually dealing with some idiosyncrasies of the male or female voice and range that will trip you up. He manages to make that work, and all power to him, because dang, I don't know that I can do that. So check that out. It's available on multiple platforms. I think I'll probably link to Apple Music. But Lover covered by John Tibbs. Man's a great singer. He's a great songwriter in his own right. And also just a complete sweetheart of a human being. He is like literally one of those people that anytime he is anywhere close to Southern Maine, I'm totally into just being able to hang out and have a few words with him. Great dude. So check that out when you have a moment.
Very nice.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to start wrapping up here. Even though, geez, considering where the Week in Geek was, we've actually ended this thing fairly well. I was scared we were heading towards 3 hours. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us and for participating in the Free Range Idiocy congregation. For those of you who don't know what that is, we like to think of ourselves as the nicer cult. You can join us by merely subscribing going to freerangeidiocy.com, and you can find all of our podcasts there, the audio-only version. Download all of them, subscribe right through the Podbean app. If you are looking to get a little more, into a platform that you're more familiar with, we are on Apple Podcasts, we are on Spotify, we're on Pandora, Amazon, all of those things. Search for Free Range Idiocy, you'll find us. However, you can also find us in full, glorious 1080 HD on YouTube, which will probably make you say, dear God, I need to only listen to them. I don't need to see them. But regardless, you can find us on YouTube. We are on the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, all at Free Range Idiocy. And you can also send us suggestions, questions, shout-outs, offers of bribery, ransom for hedgehogs we don't own. All of those are going to go to Tim at freerangeidiocy.com. He'll answer you forthwith, if not sooner. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for me to shut my yap. Not really. I'm going to continue to...
According to your daughter, it's an old yap. What name did you throw at her and she was like, who is that?
Fitting in with my age, I don't remember. But not before I ask the less idiotic of the two idiots who run this show the second most important question in all of human history. The first, of course, being what is hip. The second being, what in the ever-loving, sweet mama hell did we learn this episode?
We've learned the following, my friend.
I got to tell you, I am always so glad when you have a list. It makes me feel comforted.
I come prepared.
Swaddled. Like a little baby.
What we've learned is that some of that preparation gets thrown out the damn window because wrestling takes precedence. We learned that the Todd loves himself a little bit of Raw on the USA Network.
Yeah.
And damn if WWE is not putting out a solid product right now. So it was certainly worth the review. And on top of that, gentlemen, we have a test. We have a trap, if you will, coming up this Valentine's Day of 2025. Do we do the right thing? Or do we take our significant others out? I think you know the answer to that question.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say now.
Oh dear God, here we go.
If you're in a loving sort of mood,
that's not the Cavatier, by the way.
What you got to do?
It's like Dusty Rhodes, the ladies' man.
Isn't
if
that
you will.
If you will, that's my final form. To be the ladies' man, Dusty Rhodes, the American dream. That is the American dream, to be Dusty Rhodes. It's hard times, but not in the way that Dusty Rhodes was talking about it. Let me tell you, if you will. What we need to talk about now today.
Should I continue with my summation of what we learned, or are you just going to do a monologue as Dusty Rhodes, the ladies' man?
You're probably better off talking. You go right ahead.
All right. Well, holy moly. All right. We have also learned.
Hang on a second.
Oh, aren't you? Oh my gosh. We've also learned that the free range idiots have given maximum effort at Real and Jabroni for Deadpool and Wolverine. We will see which of these rumors are, as the Iron Sheik would say, the real, and which are the Jabroni.
Jabroni!
That's right. Thank you, Sheiky.
Make him humble.
We've also learned that, and other things do not necessarily always have to be the highly recommended picks, but we bring some criticism when it's warranted, and, yeah, go with caution on that biography of Sammy Hagar. I think
you are worse than Hulk Hogan.
With all that being said,
that was aimed at David Lee Roth.
It was. Well, and there was a part when he talks about joining Van Halen, and he they talk about they weren't sure how the crowd was going to receive them, if he was going to get booed or not. And he's like, man, when we came out and we started playing the first couple songs, all those Roth posters just hit the floor, and Hagar was funny. He didn't mince words. He's like, Roth was pissed that people liked us this much. Yeah, they did, because it was a different band, but it was a fun band. So.
I mean, honestly, from the first words on 5150.
Hello, baby.
And you go into Good Enough. At that point, you're like, oh, it's a different day right
It's
here.
on like Donkey Kong.
If you will.
All right. Well, with all that being said, thank you again for your listenership. Be safe, be healthy, be kind, be good to one another. The range is closed. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Thank you once again.
See.
Mom! 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 Mommy! 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 Mama! Mama! Mama!
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking.
Ma! 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 Mom! Mom!
I beg your pardon, what did you say?
Mom! Mom! Mommy! Mommy! Mama! Mama! Mama!
What?
Hi.
Damn!
You're such a disappointing pair. I prayed so hard for you. Get out. And don't come back until you've redeemed yourselves.
So say we all.
So say we all.
And yeah, as the Shiki would say, Haktoi. Ah, very nice.
Well, sir, a very well done episode. Even though, I mean, quite honestly, we could have done with probably 24.
All right.
Real jabronis. I don't know if 36 was quite merited.
Well, we got through it, nonetheless.
We did, but did
in under 2 hours.
Well, yeah, true. True.
It's good stuff, though. Good stuff, sir.
Make him humble.
Yeah, a little cult of personality closes out.
If you could have brought that.
What?
There was a bit. I forget where I found it now. Where Cody was talking about how Dusty referred to that as his $1 million smile, and he's like, nobody smiles like that.
That's right. That's right. Oh no, they.
But
didn't.
But at the same time, it's so Dusty that
There it is. Feels good to end the show that way. You know what I mean? Cleanse the palate.
Even though it gives us a copyright flag on each episode.
Does it really?
It does.
You only play like part of it?
Totally worth it.
It is. So is this like YouTube does this and we don't still include it or no?
But you know what? It's all right because I'm more CM Punk than CM Punk. And you're more Cody Rhodes than Cody Rhodes. So it all works out.
It's another good feud in the offing. Wait a minute, like Uncle Corny says it. Like Mussolini!
You trying to be that lady who sung the Diamondbacks anthem the other day?
I was going to say. By the way, apparently she's checking into rehab, so.
God bless. If you will.
Even if you won't.
Now get the hell out of here!